The question is, a bomber plane is moving horizontally in a straight line at 594 km per hour, pursued by a fighter plane traveling at 720 km per hour in the same straight line. When the fighter is 300 meters behind, he fires his guns, which are then horizontal. If the bullets have a muzzle velocity of 3348 km per hour relative to the fighter, at what distance below the line of sight and what angle will the bullet hit the bomber? Neglect air resistance and the wind effects. So in this case, we are supposed to find out what below the line of sight it is going to hit. It means basically we are going to find out what will be the vertical distance, and next we are going to find out what will the angle with the bullet hit the bomber. So first of all, we are going to convert this into the standard formation. So we can write this as velocity of the bomber, that is given velocity of the bomber, that is given as 594 km per hour. So we can write this as 594 into 5/18, and this will be coming as 165 meter per second. Next we can find out what will be the velocity of the fighter. So we can say that velocity of the fighter, that is given as 720 km per hour. So we can write this as 720 into 5/18, and this will be coming as 200 meter per second. Next we find out what will be the relative velocity. So we can write this as velocity of the bullet relative to the fighter. So we find out velocity of the bullet, velocity of the bullet relative to the fighter. So this will be coming as 3348 into 5/18, and this will be coming as 930 meter per second. So we have converted everything into the meter per second. Next we find out velocity of the bullet relative to the bomber. Okay, this was everything was given. So next we calculate velocity of the bullet relative to the bomber. So this will be coming as 930 plus 200 minus 165, and this will be equal to 965 meter per second. Now it's already given that the distance between that before it fires the bullet is 300. So we can say that relative distance that the bullet is going to cover. So we can say that relative distance covered by the bullet, it is given as 300 meter. This is given. So it means time taken by it we can calculate, because we already know the velocity of the bullet relative to the bomber is 965. So we can say that time taken to hit the bomber, hit the bomber. So this will be equal to 300 divided by 965, and this will be coming as, okay, let it like this only, and let us suppose this is T. Now we are going to find out the with respect to line of sight. So we can say that downward displacement of the bullet. Downward displacement of the bullet. So we can use the formula Sy is equal to U by T plus half A by T square. So in this case, as the bullet is fired in the horizontal direction, the initial velocity in y is equal to 0. So we can write that this will be equal to half Ay is g, that is and Ay we can write it here also, Ay equal to g, which is given as 9.8, acting in downward direction, so that will be positive. So this will be 9.8 multiplied by time, that is 300 divided by 965 and its whole square. So we can say that if we solve this, we get Sy is equal to 0.474 meters. So this is the distance below the displacement in the line of sight. So we have found the first part. Now we find out what will be the angle at which it is going to hit. So we say that horizontal velocity of the bullet with reference to the ground. We write horizontal velocity of the bullet with reference to ground. With reference to ground. This will be equal to, let us call this as Vx. Vx will be equal to 200 plus 930, and that is equal to 1130 meter per second. And we are next we are going to find out the velocity in vertical direction. So we write velocity in vertical direction. We say that Vy is equal to Uy plus Ay multiplied by T. And we already know that Uy is 0 and Ay is given as g. So we write Vy is equal to Ay multiplied by T. That is g multiplied by T. G is 9.8 and time is given as 300 divided by 965. So we get Vy as so let it be like this only. We are directly going to solve it. Now we have to find out the angle, and we know that the tangent of theta, that is tangent of angle, is vertical divided by the horizontal. So Vy is 9.8 into 300 divided by 965 divided by Vx. Vx was 1130. So this will be coming as equal to 0.0027. So we can say that theta is equal to tangent inverse of 0.0027, and this can be written as is equal to 0.9, and this will be theta. So the final answer, that is theta, is equal to this value. So we found out what will the s of y, and we find out what will the theta. Thank you.